recording, so yeah, sounds good.
That's okay. I mean, I think it's still convenient to get it off YouTube, isn't it? So
Yeah.
for you guys, okay, super. Okay, so today we're going to talk about your 2 sites and search engine optimization for the 2 sites and keywords. But I want to start with the search engine optimization work that I sent you. And I'd like to be able to go over it. And again, chances are that it will be easier if I share screens on a lot of this so that I can go and point to things as I'm speaking about them. But the main thing is that we want to go through and see how we can enhance the. I reviewed 2 sites out of the 11 that Michael gave me, that right away that we could do site improvements so that the page rank would show up higher, and that you would show up in the searches on Google on the first page for those keywords. Now, in a lot of cases, they may not be the same exact keywords as what we're doing in YouTube. So that'll give you even bigger spread. But they're kind of 2 different database systems. So just want you to be open to that it may be recommended to use a different keyword on the site than it is on YouTube. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I'll go to the, let's see, oops. Okay. Okay, so I'll close down all of this so you can see and share screen. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're going to be looking at this site. And I am in Firefox. I know that, can everyone see me, first of all? Can everyone see the desktop?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, great. Okay, super. Okay, so I am not in Chrome. I am in Firefox, and I seem to use Firefox more often than any other browser. So I will be using that in all of these demonstrations. So in Firefox, right up here, there's lines that allow you to actually look at the code on the site under developer, and you go to page source. So you first click to developer, then page source, click on that, and it will give you the contents of all the code that's on the page.
Cool. Yep.
And once you see that, you'll be able to see the 3 or 4 things I look for right away is what is the meta name, the meta tags for keywords, for description, and if there's any other meta tags here, which there can be, and if there's Google Analytics. And this particular site, I did not find Google Analytics. The other site I did. So right away, that would give you a lot of data that's not in Alexa.
We had this on Google Analytics. I'm not sure why it's not.
Okay. Well, so do you have data on the site? Is your host company giving you data?
Kay, do you know anything about this?
I'd have to look at Living Miracles. I thought we were getting data on that site. I haven't looked at it in a little while.
Okay.
So I'll have to look at that.
Well, what I do is, and I did in the video, is I went to Alexa first. And let me do that as well. Let me bring that up for you. Alexa.com is a great site for you to use to check on all of your websites to get information, because it's an Amazon company and it works hand in hand with Google with capturing data that allows you to see what keywords are being used to access your site. And this is in the recording, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time about it here, but the lower the rank, the better in Alexa. So I put in livingmiraclecenter.org into Alexa. I found out it is a global rank that's lower than the United States rank, which is good. We want it as low as possible, which is kind of strange, but that's the way this system works. You have a high bounce rate. When somebody gets to the site, they don't necessarily stay. So even though you may have videos optimized, they may not be staying. You don't have low views, but the people that do stay, they stay 2 minutes or more, which is good. You have no information right now in this demographics because you haven't claimed this Alexa site. So right here, if you go to alexa.com, and this is one of the tasks I want you to do, is I want you to go claim this site. And there will be other directories that you'll want to claim. You already are showing up in yahoo.com for this site. Okay? So here, this will be a quick fix right away, that this will help get you better metrics right away. Once you have this data, you can see male, female, the age range, whether they have children. You can have all these demographic data. That may help you quite a lot in creating new products and services that really fulfill your customers' needs. And then here, they're saying, oh, this is very interesting. Yesterday it had 28%. Right now it's saying that all of your visitors to the site are from the United States. So yesterday when I recorded, when you go through that video, you'll see that wasn't what it showed yesterday. So I don't know what's changed. But anyway, so you're not showing up here anyway, so you need to claim this account. Okay? Then the other thing that I wanted you to see on this Alexa, and again, once you get used to using Alexa, it'll help you with all of the sites. Want you to see that if they don't know about David and David's name, they're not finding the site. The other keywords that they're from search engines that they're using to rank you is David's name, patient's meaning, free MP3 downloads, A Course in Miracles Mobi, and the clarity process. And these are very low. So none of those are practical keywords that people that are having a need and you're the solution to their problem, none of them will find you with these keywords. So, and a lot of times this happens randomly when the things that we're showing you that we need to enhance, once you do those things, this will read totally different. So this could change in a week, okay? So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go back again. So right now what I want you to see is that I ran that SEO report that you have in front of you, I hope, but I don't know. Let's see.
You gotta put it up.
I'm going to put that.
Are you bringing it up, Kathy? Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Okay. So this is a keyword. No, darn it. Excuse me a second. I was trying to change the rendering. I don't want this. How do I get rid of this? Okay, well, anyway, here is the report. You're getting an 80 out of 100 on this website, and you have copies to all of this. So this will help you. This will help you with all of your implementation. At the end of this report are suggested changes. So I think you're going to find that all of these things I'm giving you, you'll want to make a master list. But even if you did just one of the things, if we just put you up on the directories on DMOZ and on Alexa, that would help you right away. Okay? But this keyword work, I really think this will be a big help for you. So this, everyone should have a copy of this. Your SEO score from our report is 80 out of 100. So you're doing really well. We just want to refine it. So load time's good. It's got something. They had a complaint about the HTTP requests. I don't know exactly what that is, but wanted to show you that there's things like this page rank score. We need to work on that, and I'll explain that a little bit. Keywords. Now, this report was run without me putting in David's name or A Course in Miracles. I ran it without any keywords. So as far as this report is concerned, your name is in the title, so they think it's a match to this being your keyword. But if people don't know about the Living Miracles Center, they may not key that in. And it looks as though on Alexa, they're not keying it in. They're keying in David's name to find it. So we really need to put his name in it where the search engine's database can find it. So you have this report. I can go through a lot of it, but here, see, they're still saying your description tag works well because it's got Living Miracles America on it, but if it doesn't have anything about David on it. So, you know, if people are finding it, it's just they're just finding that site because they know they've been told to go there. Okay. So the other thing is the images could have an alt tag, which could help you show up in Google Images. We can talk about that a little bit. And so, but I want to show you here H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. Now, what H1 tags are is this is part of what is being used on HTML, XML, PHP. It's called cascading style sheets. And cascading style sheets are also used in Microsoft Word. It's where you create a header. The H stands for header tag. So it's where you say that this particular thing is an H1. You identify it in the code as an H1 tag, and then it changes those all throughout the whole site. So cascading style sheets, I don't know how Joomla works because I don't use it, but I'm assuming they must have the same thing where you want to use, they're saying the H1 tag starts with your keyword because they think Living Miracles America is your keyword. But really, we're talking about changing a lot of those. So we're talking about changing the description, changing your keywords. And then you can see here, somehow an H3 tag was found, but no H2. And all this is it's actually aesthetics. So let me show you, I hope this will let me reopen this up real quick. Okay, so what this is, I'm on the developer tag again, is right here, we're going to go to show you okay. So see how this says teachings, a class, teachings. All of these are just regular text messages. They're text. See, it says text align left. Any of these can be coded. Here we go. Unwind your mind. Here, this is this text that's on this page. Unwind your mind, right there. Okay, that's what it looks like in code. And that should be an H2 tag. and it should be Unwind Your Mind, A Course in Miracles guidebook, or whatever, some other course, bringing in David, either David's name, Unwind Your Mind by David. But you've got the aesthetics of the site working beautifully, but you don't have the coding to enhance to your best.
Kathy, can I just chime in here? Peter, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Peter and I are working on we're actually redoing the home page here. So I just wanted to make sure, I'm not sure who implements this stuff, Michael. I mean, I'm completely lost, of course, because it's not my area.
That
But
would be me and JP.
that would be you and
Yeah,
JP.
good
So
webmaster.
you're like right there.
I get it.
Okay, so we would be joining with like Yuta and Peter because we're putting up new photos and we're refreshing the page. So I just wanted to make sure that that homepage is right now. It's almost ready to be updated, and so Peter and Yuta, I guess.
Well, this is obviously what my hope is. My reason for wanting to help you do this is that a lot of the things I'm telling you to do aren't necessarily aesthetic. They're in the code.
Right.
And it's how Google ranks you, and it's how people are gonna find you all together. And
Right.
it's matching database, the content on your site, with what the call query is from the database. So it's just like a big Excel spreadsheet,
Okay.
and you don't have the column header, which might be A Course in Miracles. You don't have it here where that can be found in the Excel spreadsheet. So a lot of the stuff's invisible. It may affect a little bit of the aesthetics, but for instance, if you like the way this header looks, you can code the H2 tag to be that font and that size.
Okay.
So the aesthetics, you don't have to really change the way your site looks. We're talking about changing the way it shows up and
Right.
how useful it is, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the alt tags, if all the alt tags have your keywords in them, when you do a Google search, so, okay, let's show you right now, you do a Google search, and you can go and you can look in images, right? And you go to images and you go to David. Okay, so here we go. And you could have a bunch of those other pictures. That's from a YouTube. You could have some of those pictures, like this one is in it looks like Portuguese.
Spanish.
Is that Spanish?
One of our websites.
Okay. Well, anyway, either way, you can see here it's using a keyword where he would show up for A Course in Miracles also. But let's see, that's on Twitter. So, I mean, a lot of these aren't going to show up as your keywords. Okay, so let's see. Now here it does show up with his name. So that's how it works, though. Is you could have an image of your location, especially once you start doing other products and services. And each one of these images could have a keyword on them. This could have a keyword on it.
I want to make sure that Peter and Yuta, the images are going to change, and so we want to maximize all of it. So
Right.
I'm good, as long as they know that.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to. I was trying to go slow, Suzanne, so you could understand it. Is everyone else following with me? I don't want to lose anybody here.
We're good. We'll have the recording too. We can go over. So
Well, and you also have recordings.
you're doing good.
You have recordings and handouts. I'm pampering you a lot here. It's not like,
You feel so loved.
yeah. Well, I want to make a difference. Otherwise, yes.
Just about the alt tags on images, does that apply to background images as well?
I don't know that you need to do it that way. I wouldn't do background images. I would save it for the other images.
Because we are the new homepage does use a few div boxes. It's like in CSS, and they do have feature images, but they're background images.
Well, are they background size? Are they large size?
No, they're not. They're kind of like
So
smaller.
are they slider images? Is that what you're calling background?
They're actually frames. They're kind of like these boxes on the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're if they the rule of thumb is if they're a background image, which usually means it's a desktop size image. That's what background images start out as. And there's a lot of places you can get free background images on the internet. If they're large, you wouldn't normally alt tag them, but if they're smaller and if they have anything that would there's nothing more annoying than pulling up a search and the images that show up have nothing to do with the search term. So you want to make sure that the images have something to do with the search term. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have like an image of the monastery, so I thought I could put in an alt tag for the monastery in Utah. And yeah, there's one of the messengers and one of the photos, and so yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to go crazy. Honestly, when we do some of the changes, these changes that I'm suggesting right now, you'll see a big change right away, even without the without all the images being ID'd. So that could be second phase. You know, the first phase is get all his YouTubes, at least, 60 of his or 40 of his YouTubes coded, which will help you right away. And then the next part is fixing the keywords and fixing the keywords, the descriptions in the meta tags, and this coding of the A tag. And that right away will make a huge difference in your visibility. Okay. Okay. So next, so basically what I'm saying is that, Suzanne, if you're making new categories or anything here, that this Movie Watcher's Guide to Enlightenment, we may want to put David's name in front of it.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Once we go through the keywords.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be helpful right now or not. You just let me know. But maybe, Peter, you could just pop up a screen of what this new homepage is going to look like, because it's not going to look anything like this. I don't know if that's helpful or not. There's very little text on it.
See, we need text. That's the model is, the new websites are all visual, but you need text for Google. Google can't read just the images and just the videos. And if they try to, they actually have a transcription for the videos that does a terrible job.
Okay, can you just pop it up, Peter? I mean, I think we just need to take a look at it. So that
Okay, so let's see how do I have him? Okay, should I stop sharing or?
Skype it. Can you do a JPEG?
Can you share, Jeff, from there?
Yeah, Peter's gone to get his stuff.
it's showing the bottom of it. So
Is that in here?
that's not it.
So those images are navigation bars?
What's that? Yeah.
Are those images navigation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Everything on the left-hand menu.
Oh, they're showing it here, Peter.
Yeah,
It's not
really,
finished.
that's not really it. If you can move that and let Peter just bring it up. The images are all the left-hand bar menu are
Okay.
now on the images.
Okay.
And we are writing like our mission statement in a bar at the bottom. So
Yeah.
there, our circle of support window will be there. So there's some writing, certainly not as much as what's on the website now. And yeah, my feeling is that any more you go to a website that has a ton of writing like that, that's why they're staying on there for 10 seconds and clicking off. It's like all of our pictures go to to the information inside of the website. You know, like the teachings and the prayer and support calls where there is a lot of text.
Okay.
So I just feel like the homepage, and maybe this is just me, but I feel like the homepage has to be inviting to bring you into it. And I feel like what we've been designing does that. There's a feeling when you hit the page
Okay.
that you want to explore it, actually. Where obviously through the results of whatever analyzes those pages is showing that nobody's staying.
Okay. Well, so I don't think that what I'm explaining to you now is going to be in conflict with what you're doing. I think it's
I want to make sure that we're not
right. Oh, thank you.
sacrificing.
So what I'm talking about is this code, the meta tag code, which is a meta description using keywords that people are actually searching on, where you're a match to the keyword, and your description has enough of the keywords, and we'll talk about keywords when we get to that point. I wanted to explain and let you see what an H1, and this is an H1 tag. This is an H1. The size of it is so small, it bounces. Usually there's H1, then the next size down would be H2. This is H3 or smaller in comparison to size, and these are styles. So what you want to do is you just want to use those in the code. So instead of just calling this a strong, the code of it is strong, which means bold. So instead of bold, we want to just use one of these H2 or H3 tags for one of the keywords for your title of your paragraph. Okay? So is it Peter, or are you do code, right?
Well, I have been doing a bit for the homepage. I haven't been the main web developer, but for this homepage, I am working on it. But I could
Do this laugh. Do this laugh.
I will say too that the homepage that I'm working on, actually, we are using images, like some main images, but we the text, there's text that appears on top of them, like menu items.
Okay.
That's all. You can put coding into that. You can use H1 tags and H2 tags within those items. So there will be text that, yeah, we can do that for.
Well, see, the Google loves this kind of text and content. So if it's not on the front page, it just needs to be on the other pages.
Right.
On the front page, the other thing that, and I'd be glad to explain the code to Peter, to you, and to whoever else is doing code, because it's invisible to the eye, but it's what Google needs. Okay? So it won't affect the aesthetics, but it will affect whether or not you're found for those keywords. Okay?
To me, I think we would just need to set the styles in the CSS sheet, in the style sheet, so that it still looks the way we want it to look. Because obviously, if we put H2 headings, for example, in this homepage, it's going to look a little ridiculous unless we change the style sheet.
Of course, that's what I'm saying, exactly. It's just like Microsoft Word, where you can change any of the styles, you modify them.
Yeah.
And you modify, again, I'm used to using HTML, XML, or WordPress. So this is a Joomla site, so I don't know exactly what the code looks like. It looks the same. It looks like it looks like it just has a structure.
Yeah.
There you go. It just looks like the structure may be different, the actual, but the code looked almost identical. So, but does anybody else have questions about what I'm talking about, so that this is useful to you?
Did you want to see the new homepage that they're working on?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
How can we do that?
You have to turn your screen sharing off.
Okay, I did.
The screen sharing on.
Cool.
And then I got to find the page. Where did it go? There's a pixelmator.
Here, you look like Very serious.
But the image,
Art is going
I'm
to-
trying to find the image.
I just Skype chatted it to you.
Where's it? There.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
You still have to select what screen you're sharing.
No. Can you see my screen now with the Living Mercs America?
Now we're just seeing you. It might be,
Suzanne just sent me a screenshot.
why don't you bring it off Skype? Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We can't see it.
Yeah, I know. Just I'm trying to find it. Just give me a second.
Do you want me to show you what I've got from Suzanne? I've got an image.
Yep.
I can share that real quick.
Yeah, if you've got it, go ahead because mine's not coming up.
I don't know. I think I have the latest one, Peter. I'm not sure. But.
Yeah,
That's what I just got.
Now the thought is we're going to take the top text with the mission statement, replace that with David Hoffmeister quote, and then that will come down to the bottom of the page with all that text.
So this would come down.
Yeah.
Okay.
David's
Okay.
quote with David's name would be in that first
Mhm.
with the flowers.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is that now each page will have content on it. So, I mean, when you go to David's page, there's lots of text. And so that may give us an opportunity. And then if there's a blog or any other content, the newsletter would have content that we could use we could make it keyword rich. And these could all be keywords once you start seeing what the keywords are that people are searching for. Now, the whole idea of this is we're attracting people. We're not pushing. The idea is different than the traditional marketing is push it all out there and let them, we'll push it out. Well, this is attraction. There's already people in the river on the internet flowing already that are looking for terms. So what we're doing is we're just matching it because they're already there and they're monthly there. And I mean, some of them, you'll see when we look at the terms, they're already searching and they may not be finding you because your terms, you're not a match.
Okay.
Okay. So that's all. So the prayer and support, it may be online repair. We may have to do some more keyword searches than what I did right to start to get the right keywords that people already are searching for. But again, if you think of the internet like a river and it's already all floating along and you just want to be a tributary, here's the river, you want to just be a tributary off. You can't educate them enough to get them to come off the wave. It'll cost you a fortune.
Okay.
That's push. But if you find where they are and bring them in, that's actually the game as far as I consider it a game.
Okay, great. So we can just tweak the text that we have, add a little bit of text so that we don't have to put a
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the other part is that even though it looks more aesthetic with the images, which it looks beautiful and the feels different, all of the stuff that I'm suggesting you do, the metadata, is invisible.
Okay.
So we can fix all of this without it affecting the aesthetics at all.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Cool, huh?
That's all I needed to know.
Yeah, great. Thank you. That was good to clarify that. And I would put Google Analytics on this right away if it was.
I'd like to know maybe we just had Google Analytics on the store page. I don't know. I thought we had it on our homepage of Living Miracles.
Yeah. There was one site that,
Brian David
showing
had-
up.
We've lost Jeff, Kathy. Is that he just needs to call in? Is it? Might be their internet down there.
Excuse me?
We've lost Jeff.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we do here.
It might be their internet, so yeah, that's okay. I don't know if you can do anything about it. He just puts the code in and it comes back on, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You can tell I'm not highly experienced with this platform. I'm still learning it, so I don't know all the bells and whistles, but I will. Okay, share new window. Doesn't give me, gives pretty much, I don't have a way to access him.
That's okay. Let's just move on.
Okay. Okay. So what we were doing here is we were going through this report, which you all have a copy of, that you can see what other things, the social networks, we want to make sure they're all connected. And it's very good, there's no flash in it. Let's see, the other things that the coders need to work on is HTML sitemaps and XML sitemaps.
Yeah, we held off on that because we're actually doing this integration nation builder, and that was hopefully going to be happening, but I don't know if we're going to get to it in the next couple of days.
Why that would still just be an additional page. So that you could still do the rest of the sitemap and then add another page later. Do you know how to do that? Have you done a sitemap before, Michael? Yeah. So it's just it'd be another link. So you could build the infrastructure of what you already have. And there's free sites online where, certainly for the XML sitemap, you can just put in your URL and it generates it for you. Okay.
The sitemap expert here, but he's going in a few days, so I'm not sure if he's going to get to it.
Okay. Well, it's really almost automatic. It's not that hard. Okay. It's really automatic, because all it does is it shows like a directory, like it would be like a file folder on your in Word, where you might have the file folder name and then you have all the pieces. That's all it is what, and that's an easier way for the search engine's algorithm to access the data. Okay.
There's also extensions available for Joomla. If you want some help with that, I can do that. I did sitemaps for our stuff here. It's as you say, it's very simple.
It really is, Michael. I don't think you have to wait till the next, the next edition. You could easily do it right now, and then the next time Google comes through, because it rotates when it goes through and sorts through your data, you'd be clean. A lot of this stuff that I'm showing you, it's like 15, 20 things to do, and that's it. Yeah. And once it's set for the life of the thing. Okay? Okay. So here, so here's some to-do tasks that you'll find, and some of them, the outbound links, you've got an awful lot of outbound links, and usually that's because you're out of balance with the inbound links. And links, the best links are three-way links, and you have so many sites, you could easily have this one connected to your YouTube, connected to your I Am David site, or any of the other sites. You've got so many sites that you could make it that this one, now you want a two-way link if possible. So for instance, if this links to Google, or excuse me, to YouTube, and from Living Miracles, you want them to go back and forth. That's a two-way link. And then a three-way link allows you to go back and forth here, back and forth here, and back and forth here to the other site. And that's really valuable. That's what, when Google does its criteria for selecting the best fit for the search results, what they do is they see the social media connections and these links. Then they look for the keyword match, and if you don't have it on your site, they can't match it if they can't find it. Okay?
So getting clear on the three-way links, are you simply talking about backlinking between three sites?
Yep. And it can be, since you have so much video and you're using YouTube, It could be YouTube back and forth. And that's where we talked about last time about putting your URL in the description tag. That's a link.
Jeff knows about that.
You know about it now too.
Yes, yes.
You guys can't pretend you don't know anymore. You've got all the training.
Jeff did 1,300 videos in the last couple of days.
Oh my God. Does he still like you? Does he still like you, or is he upset?
Oh, I've always liked him.
Oh my God.
I think he loves me.
Wow. Wow. Okay, well, he might not like me, really.
Oh, no, I like you, Kathy.
Well, I hope that you'll see the results next week. I mean, it's that fast. It's quite amazing. Okay, so, and hopefully the same thing will be with this, whether you're changing the aesthetics of the site or not. You're changing the front page, but you're not changing all the content of the site, putting this in sitemaps and putting the code into it. And so again, I'm going to go back to here so that I'm really clear. And if I need to get even more clear, I can with a list. Once we go through these keywords and we select the keywords, you can see right now, this is Living Miracle Site, that the keywords you have are David, Hoffmeister. You don't even have his name together. You have Living Miracles, which you saw from Alexa. People aren't finding you necessarily from that. Monastery, they're not looking you up for that. Messengers of Peace, they're not looking you up for that. Metaphysical, Center, New Thought, Return to Love. These are not keywords that people are in the internet right now searching for. So most of these, even though Jesus is there, you're not showing up for Jesus. Sorry.
Humbling.
Sorry, maybe you are, but anyway. Oh well, I meant on the internet. Okay, so my suggestion is to change these keywords and change this description once we go through the keywords to words that are more pertinent to your customer. Okay? And this, you could do this right away, even with the design changes. You're going to see, this code is invisible anyway. Okay? Any questions there? One other thing to let you know, there is one of the people I work with, he's a wonderful guy. His name is Mike Heath, and he started 5 years ago using GPS coordinates in this description tag. And he was finding that was making a huge amount of difference. I don't know if we need to do that right now because everyone's phone is automatically doing GPS, but we may want to see that could be an additional tweak that we could do after we see how this works. If that doesn't just pop it, then that could be stage 2. And just wanted you to know about that. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So now we're going to go to the next site that I did. I did the I Am David.
So, Kathy, just before we move on to the next site, clear on homepages. How important is a homepage on a website? Does it rank much higher in terms of search and importance than other pages?
Not necessarily. It depends on your keywords, and it depends on how you've enhanced it. The person that had built this Joomla site did a great job of putting the same description and the same keywords on every page. But if we, for instance, Jeff has just enhanced all of those descriptions on YouTube, they probably all are going to the front page. So eventually, that's why he may hate me later. Eventually, some of them may want to go to the product page.
Maybe we can have Kathy put that up before we have.
So that's why the homepage is going to be so important, is right now we're putting all these links straight to it.
Yeah, and isn't that really, you want this to go to your invitation page, really? Isn't it? I mean, you want it, like we're filling the funnel with people coming from the internet, and then we're going to bring them somewhere.
Right.
And it's like, what fits in the strategy for that, right, Kathy? That's what you're saying. We're really looking at what words are bringing, what people searching, how do we bring them in, and then what do we bring them to?
Right, exactly. And what we had talked about before was that eventually we'll be doing landing pages that would be coming off of your social media, going straight to a landing page, which won't be the front page. But
Yeah.
But that's not, we're not ready to do that yet. Right now, honestly, you're going to see a big shift by us changing the keywords, changing descriptions, doing the H tag work. You're going to see a big shift right away. And you won't, it's, you know, you could see on that list there's only 13 things. Even if they missed a few that I'm adding, there's less than 20 things to do to the site. It's not brain science. It's just figuring out how to match the math. It's a machine taking a database, and if you don't have the piece, they just go to the next one who does.
Yeah.
So I guess, Mike, if I can ask a question about this, Kathy, in terms of sending people, so we're bringing them to, it seems like one of the strategies is really to go for the Course in Miracles students, which we're going to talk about these, you know, the keywords that are going to bring those students in. Let's just say that's who we're bringing in. Are we wanting to do this for all the sites, or do you really want to choose the sites or the pages where you want to lead them to, so that those are the ones that show up at the top of the search rank? You know, so we're kind of stepwising them through where we want them to go or help them go to, or we're just doing this across everything?
No, we're doing it piece by piece.
Okay, that feels, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really know, I mean, I've never worked with anyone who had 90 websites before, and I've worked with big corporations. So I ran the change enablement group at Arthur Andersen, and I was working with Fortune 100 companies. So I don't know, again, my instinct is to reduce and make more relevant. So that's what I think your question is, how do we make it relevant? And is that really what you're saying?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had brand dilution. I mean, it seems like there's still purpose in using some of those sites for the cross-linking purpose, but really deciding where the focus is going to be would be really helpful.
Right. That's what we're doing in the planning stages, and we're not done with the plan. We will be coming up. I mean, we're making great progress, but we're not done with all the research. And so we have to see who we feel is we're creating a funnel, and right now you've got all of this stuff out there, but probably very few of those 90 websites are optimized correctly.
Right.
So if we even did 5 of them, you would probably be doing great. I mean, you don't need even that many.
That is really what we're doing with you, Kathy, is we're narrowing it down. And you know, the sites, obviously livingmiraclescenter.org is going to be our flagship site. And so we're moving in that direction.
Right. So, but I think that, again, the problem with this, the overview, is to try to simplify and try to get everybody to think about, okay, it's a river. They're already in the river. They're already searching. They're already there. How do we get in with them so that we don't have to pull them out? But it costs a lot of money. IBM's put a lot of money into their brand. You think of all the people that have put just millions into their brand. Well, if they just rode the wave, I mean, the people are already looking for help to enhance their spiritual life. And they may be disenfranchised from their churches. They may not even know what the Course in Miracles is. They may not know how it can enrich their life and what the difference is. They may think it sounds hard to do. You know, there's all sorts of ways for us to connect with them and we're in service, but they got to find you.
Okay.
So does that make sense? Are you feeling good about that?
Yeah, I feel really good about that focus.
Yeah. And I think again is the reason why your brand hasn't been as effective is we need to do these tweaks, but this will be a good step for you. Okay. Anybody else? Jeff, are you okay? If we asked you to change the YouTubes again, would you kill us?
No, but I'm leaving for a few weeks, so go ahead and make it.
He's leaving and never coming back. Oh no, we really did it. I'm sorry. You'll thank me later, maybe.
No, it's fine. It's not a problem.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're going to go to, oops. And anything else? I was going to go.
We're moving on to the next site.
Yes, we are. What is the, is it?
It's david.i-am-1.net.
Okay, and tell me why it is that name.
David dot hyphen. Oh, that's it. Hyphen.
Oops.
Yeah. David dot I hyphen. That's it. Yeah.
Why is it David dot?
It's a subdomain of iam1.net. That's how.
Ah, okay. I thought it was a subdomain, but I couldn't figure. I didn't research it further. Okay. Well, the reason why I picked this one as the next one to consider is that because it's got his name and he's one of our keywords, that we could really work on this one and have it show up and link directly to the other site very, very easily. And your content is so rich right here. But again, what we'll show you, again, we've got similar things. This one did have Google Analytics in it. Here's the page source for this. It has his title, but it's let all things be exactly as they are, is his title of his page, and that's not what people are searching for. So we probably want to change that, all those names. Now here's the site verification, and the Google Analytics is right here. It looks like JavaScript right here. Okay, but you can see that the keywords, I thought there was keywords. Yeah, I guess there isn't even any keywords on this. So, I mean, to have Google Analytics on it, it'll just show you who found this site. It won't help you get them here. So you don't have keywords. I thought you did, but I guess you don't. You don't in meta name here. You would normally have keywords here and a description. So want to change that. And then once again here, this gives you an opportunity for each one of these to be a CSS H1 tag, H2 tag, H3 tag.
You have a suggestion for the keywords?
We'll go over those next.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to do this so it sort of builds on it so that your understanding will be better. But there are some decisions to be made after we go through this. I can make recommendations. There's some decisions which keywords that we want to use.
That site was really optimized for non-dual, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it's about non-duality, so that was the emphasis for this site.
Okay, I still think because his name's a keyword here, unless you recommend a different site, I would partner them.
I think this is a good site to partner with.
Does everyone, you know your inventory better than I do. Does everyone agree? My instinct.
Would you not have just to get the davidhoffmeister.net? Go ahead and get that.
If it's available, that would be great. But do you want 91 website?
Yeah.
Well, you could just do a redirect, couldn't you? Or
Well, I don't know. This is a subdomain, so you'd have to see how. I assume you can do that. I haven't done that with a subdomain.
or a mirror site, maybe even a mirror site or something. I don't know. I'm not as that technical, but it just seems like if you're saying having that keyword be the site name, that would be helpful. Just go ahead and get David Hoffmeister.
Right.
Yeah, just so you know, the davidhoffmeister.com redirects to this site.
We do not have davidhoffmeister.net.
Is it available?
No. Only to kind of
davidhoffmeister.net is David F. Hoffmeister, who is a team leader with Kaiser Permit. That's not MM. But .com does. davidhoffmeister.com comes to.
Okay. Okay, so either way, this site needs to be optimized. It doesn't matter if it's through his name or not. You can see that let all things be exactly as they are doesn't tell anyone what you offer. Because this is the other thing to keep thinking about. When people are on the internet and they're searching for a solution, they have a problem and they're searching in this wave for a solution, and you want to be the solution to their problem. So that's where the keyword things have to match up, and actually the text on your page, you want to tell them that you're the solution to their problem.
So would a tagline under David's name, like ACIM, non-dual teacher, or something like that, is much better? That's what you're saying.
Or
Yep. Or living A Course in Miracles.
Or tools for awakening through A Course in Miracles.
Right. I mean, you're going to see that's what people, if they key in A Course in Miracles and they get to this site, all they see is ACIM. I mean, again, those are acronyms that are hard for people. Non-dual is hard. It's pretty advanced for the top of the funnel.
Yeah, we feel like this is more of an advanced site, actually.
Well, you already have advanced products on your Living Miracles site, right? So it's just up to you whether you feel that this should be inviting to both levels.
Yeah, it feels more like the Living Miracles site that we're going to build in entry points, right, for the funnel, like at the top all the way down. But this site really has very incredibly deep teachings on it. I don't feel to really change that so much, as it was really designed so that we could expand more into people who are in the non-dual community.
Okay.
But are looking for more of the how-to to get to the non-dual state.
Okay. Well, I think once we go through the numbers, you're going to see how small a population that is compared to the other population, and that's why I'm just cautioning you that we want to make this inviting to the beginner mind too, and he deserves to they deserve to experience this too. I mean, they'll sense from the tone of his voice and his presence that there's something here that they need to know. And it doesn't, most of this may be a little over their head, but maybe it's in the bio see this bio? So that's not even an H1, or that's not an H tag. So these tags, those can be part of the H1, H2 tags.
Okay.
And they can be, again, because it's a cascading style sheet, CSS, cascading style sheet, that means that you can connect any font and any size to the style. So it doesn't have to be just because This is big. This is an H1 tag. The H2, oh shoot, sorry. The H2 could actually be half size of that, but it doesn't have to be. And that a coder, there'll be a CSS file in this file folder. See here, style sheet, CSS, themify, animate, -CSS. That's the file. Theme style at CSS. That's what you go in and you can make you can identify how you want it to look. So you're not stuck with these, big gaudy fonts. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but that would be even if you keep this higher level, you still want to make sure that you give it a chance to show up for these keywords. And I did not do a keyword search on non-dual yet. Okay. So I think what I'll do next is show you what Alexa is for this site real quick. And this one, again, what I'm suggesting is that you claim it.
And that's just IM1.net right now, what you're showing us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. That's interesting. Maybe it won't do the subdomain.
I found that with the store as well, like the store at Living Miracles and things that didn't seem to go.
Yeah, it's only doing that for the total site. It won't do it for the subdomain. Interesting. So anyway, the data's, I mean, this is just strange as anything. It's got Indian wedding outfits. IM1.net, the keywords. Indian wedding dresses. IT insurance payment. So something's not, so again, for this one, you'd want to go in for the subdomain or for the full domain and claim this site in the directory. Okay?
Very good.
Okay. So, I mean, this is really useful information. It's like, I don't know, you have the Google Analytics on this, and you could tell me what you're finding that they're coming to the site to, if they're using anything besides his name. Does anybody on the call have access to the analytics data?
This is Kay. I just finally got into analytics. Yeah, we had looked at that site and talked about the possibility that it did not have analytics set up. It doesn't have it. I just looked.
Huh. Well,
just like you suggested, I see it here. It needs to have the that code put in there.
Well, it's right here. Where is it? Oh, it's right here.
Not on this site. Sorry, the IM1.net. Let me see.
Yeah, so somehow I'm showing.
Each messenger had a page.
It might need to be linked. That one might need to be linked.
Okay.
To Google Analytics. This one right here.
Okay. So here. Okay. So anyway, so you can see that, and again, the content isn't what I'm worried about. I'm worried about playing the game, a database where you get to match it up. That's all I'm doing here. I'm not trying to control what you present. I'm trying to make sure that it gets seen. Okay? Okay, so this really won't help us, this Alexa. Again, you would want to go, even for if you, let's see. So you have davidhoffmeister.com.
Yeah.
don't have enough data.
That's actually just forwarding now, so I don't know if it would get
That's what I'm saying, that you're not showing, the site's not helping you. That's all I'm saying. You have all this great content and no one's going to find it. That's all.
I think you need to come live with us.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I can teach you how to do it. You're good students. Just keep affirming that. I'm a good student.
Every day.
Okay. So
I'm being a student.
okay, so here's the other report that I sent you for david.im1.net. It's still got a score of 72 out of 100 from our SEO report. Loads quickly. And again, I'm not quite sure what we do for this, what their complaint or their criteria for too many HTTP requests. I can do a little research on that for you if you want. But here we go. So he's got his URL contains a keyword. So we're saying that David's the keyword here. Title tag. So nice work, great, fantastic. But description tag should be fixed. Description tag, I couldn't find one. And then your images again could have an alt tag. Keywords are not found in the alt tags. And then here's all of these. None of these. We've got an H3 tag somewhere and an H4 tag, but nobody used the other ones. So chances are they didn't use the other ones because the aesthetics of it were wrong, that the fonts were too big, and that can be changed by going to that CSS file folder and just changing. Usually you can see really easily where it says H1 equals, H2 equals, and you just change it. Yep. Change the font and change the size.
Are those
save it.
Yeah, are those preserved on the updates, or that just has to be done every time?
No, it's done once, and then you just save it, and then it's on the file, so every time it's refreshed, it should be fine.
Okay, so the theme updates won't change that.
Shouldn't. I don't think so. Let's put it that way. I haven't seen that.
We've got a noddy saying yes, it will. Yes, it will.
If we're changing the style sheets, we need child themes actually.
Right, child. Okay, so the child theme CSS. Is this a word? It's WordPress. So yeah, that should be fine. It still should stay.
In the child theme, yeah.
In the child theme.
We change the CSS in the actual theme and everything.
That will be overwritten each time. I wish WordPress didn't have to change so often. It's really a pain in the butt. The plugins part of it too. Okay, so here again.
Is the idea to actually have H1 through to H6 headings on each page?
No, if you did 1 to 3, I would be very happy. If you did 1 to 2, I would be very happy.
Right.
You don't have to do all 6. I mean, you don't have that much text on a lot of these files. I mean, a lot of the files you've got a little bit of content, and then you've got you've got a video, or you've got an audio, you've got links to something else. So you don't really want to goop it up with all of the setup, because it's like a header in a paragraph. So you'd have the big header for the page, and then the next subheader could be an H2 tag. You have one little paragraph of 5 sentences, and then you could have another H2 header for another paragraph. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then the other thing will be the sitemaps again, HTML sitemap and XML sitemap. That'll really help Google a lot. And then there's hardly any backlinks to this site. So again, with all the sites you have and with your YouTube, so Jeff, this is where, you know, when we end up figuring out what we're doing with this site, that some of those YouTubes might go to this site instead of the Living Miracle site. Make sense? And then back and forth. You'd want two-way links. Okay? Okay. Any questions here? Here's the to-do task, but we will have some of these. Again, if you just did the descriptions and keywords, you would be way ahead of the game. Any questions? We're good? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start our keywords. Let's see, which ones do I want to go to? Okay, so I gave you bad keywords and final report, amazing, great, good keywords. Okay, so I'm going to go through this, and I sent you all these files, and I sent you the definitions, but I'll go over this. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to, when we're not stuffing keywords, excuse me, okay. So what we're doing here is we are looking at an Excel spreadsheet that helps you guide you on what words people are in the river for already. And this file, this column is, it used to be local and global. When you went, Google changed their keyword tool to work better with the AdWords. So it's called Keyword Planner tool now. And so from that, a whole bunch of people created new software that would give them more data than that data that's coming for free on Google Keyword Tool. And what they come up with now is this local search monthly. So if we had Course in Miracles daily lesson as one of our H2 tags to one of our pages, we could have up to 260 people click on that and find us every single month. If you look at all these totals here, now some of these we're not going to want because some of them aren't really pertinent, but, oh shoot, anyway, some of these aren't going to want. What I was trying to do is show you, by the time you get down to here, the Course in Miracles, there's 12,000 people a month looking for that term, and you're not getting them yet, unless.
Isn't that also on the bad keyword list because it's overused?
No, it depends on how it's used. Again, so again, if we can get your pay, okay. The way that we're doing this is we're changing the links and the content on your site so that Google can find it, number one. So that will change your page rank. So we want a higher page rank, and then we want to show up for some of the keywords. Now, in some cases it will be, I mean, we could get all of these A Course in Miracles quotes. There's very low competition. Look at it, it's very low. And the commercial, this is how you know that they make people money. Course in Miracles study groups. There's 18 ads running right now for that keyword. They wouldn't be running them unless they made money for them. Because people try ads, and then if they don't work, they stop running them. So what I'm suggesting is that we look through, for instance, and maybe pick, you don't look at all of these. We don't have to go through all of them. There's David's name here. So 480 people a month are looking for David. But the key, your sites that have his name on it have very low page rank. So someone could come in and use his name and get found on Google above David's name. That's not good. Right? So these are the words that we suggested. And there are some I asked for mysticism, Christian mystics, mystical Christianity, and we did get some of that as well. I mean, there's 22 ads here, but their page rank is so low because they haven't optimized their pages that we could come in and be important there. And look at the price of some of these. And I'm not suggesting we have to pay that. That's a keyword value. But it's possible to actually show up for that.
I was wondering about linking Jeff's one that's got the online Course in Miracles search, because that would be something that people would search for quite often, is searching for the Course in Miracles text online, and I noticed it's there as a Course in Miracles online.
Here's one that David.
Well, what you're going to see is that there's some choices to be made of which ones fit better into your content. So it's not, this is, what I'd usually do is I keep a copy of this initial Excel spreadsheet, and then I just start erasing lines in it. And I hold on to the ones that I do think we want to use. So book miracles, I don't know that would help you, but Course in Miracles lesson, Course of Miracles lessons.
Okay, I have a question, Kathy. What Pete was just saying about the website that Jeff just did, which is a Course in Miracles online. We wouldn't want to split that, would we? We would more want to incorporate that into our flagship site, like so it's not going to another site. It would be going to livingmiraclescenter.org and somehow bringing that over. I don't know if we have a Course in Miracles online on Living Miracles. I'm sure we probably do. But I'm asking, is that something that we want to really look at? Like, instead of splitting, like if somebody's searching for it, they go to this website that Jeff has done, or would we would want them to come into our site where we can track them? And
well, I think that either way, we want to make sure that that site has all of these keywords in here so they even find them. So you need to have, see, basically what you do is once you pick these keywords, you put that in the keyword list and you put as many of them as possible into that description tag. And then you use them in your H1, H2, and H3 tags. You make sure you have sitemaps. And all of a sudden, they're finding you first. All of it, because you can see these other people's, there isn't anyone here, 9 and 10 are the highest page ranks. And there's no one here in these keywords that has over a 3. Or the 3.1, 3.11. So that means they don't have it linked. They don't have the keywords optimized. You don't have terrible competition, even though there's a lot of competition maybe for those words. They didn't optimize their pages.
okay,
Suzanne, what you're asking for is, if I understand correctly, and I'll try to explain this if I didn't. The Living Miracles Center is the center of the thing, and then we've got, however many other sites we end up with. So let's say we've got 4 other sites. If one of them is a Course in Miracles, that would link back and forth, and you could actually have the tab that said A Course in Miracles here, link straight to there. The navigation on here could link to that. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yep.
As long as it makes sense to Jeff, that's good.
Okay. Well, let me start.
The backlink stuff we've been talking about, right? And having the 3 points, like the three-way link.
Yeah, so this goes all through here, but these can all link.
Right.
Right? And then they also link to your social media and to your YouTube.
Yeah.
So, and then Google goes, these guys are the most important results that I can give to anybody for this term.
Okay.
That's a relevance. That's how they tell what's most relevant. Okay? So what the next task will be on this is I didn't want to reduce it. I think that's another discussion here. Whoops. My machine's going crazy a little bit. Okay, so in here, the definitions, you'll be able to see what each line item is, so you can see what the software is bringing back. I know this software works great for giving you content. And I know that you can see already that even if you're in the river here and there is no Course in Miracles, you don't have a description or keyword tag here. There's nothing here. So it can't find it. So we want it to. So are there any other questions? I think what I'd like to do is have you go through the videos I made for you, go through these, print out the worksheets, and then if we have questions, then we need to go over them. And the next step would be is to go through these and see which ones you want to use. I would start with the amazings myself. I mean, that's 52 right there. And I mean, like Jesus Course in Miracles. The other thing to let you know is when you're doing your descriptions and your keywords and your H1 tags, you want to use what they call long tail keywords. And long tail keywords are actually phrases where you have 2, 3, or 4 different words in a phrase, and that's how the user types in their search anymore. So they're searching online for something, for a solution to their problem, and they're finding that they need to type in a phrase rather than one word because the results are too large if you don't narrow down your request. So your request is a phrase. That's called a long tail keyword, and those work the best. So here where it says A Course in Miracles podcast, I mean, you've got all of that wonderful data, but like John Mundy, Course in Miracles, you'd take that one out. We wouldn't use Eckhart Tolle's Course in Miracles unless David's in one with him. Course in Miracles UK. So
your emphasis, so it's the relative to the content for all of these choices.
Well, you know how irritating it is when you put in a search term and you get all this stuff and it's like, how did that show up? Yeah. So, you know, we're trying to make it easy for somebody to find us.
So Kathy, just so I'm understanding, if I can ask a question here on this keyword value, when it has $17 or $3, $4, is that what somebody's actually paying in advertising for that keyword?
It may be what they have paid for it. That's what the keyword value is. Okay, so transactions are made off of these ads. And so that's how AdWords may value the keyword. but it may not quite cost that much. It depends on how you do AdWords. And I'm not an AdWords expert. I try to do as much as I can without paying. I do more of my ads on Facebook than I do on Google. So I could connect you to someone who's more of an expert, but that's my understanding. This is what the value is in transactions, and that's one of the criterias that Google uses to value the AdWords ads. But I wouldn't get stuck on that. I would really look at, how many ads. That shows that there's business there. I mean, if there's 18 people, 18 ads running for that, there's some business there. They wouldn't be running unless there was. There's 22 in mysticism and Christianity. Mm-hmm. And you could easily add that into David's non-dual site, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think what we need to do here is we need to go through this and release the ones that don't appear to be something that you could use in any of your content, because you want to use it in your content as if there's blogs, if there's postings, you want to use it in your Facebook. So Course in Miracles groups, audiobook, movie, study groups. I mean, look at this. What if you got 1,000 people that actually bought something out of the site this month? And this adds up even though it seems small. I can hear the wheels turning. Anybody have any questions? No? What?
Wow.
You never hear people be this silent.
It's daunting.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it isn't. Once you get it, it's really a puzzle. And we're just putting the pieces of the puzzle where they fit. And you didn't know that they didn't fit, or you didn't even know you had a puzzle piece, but now you do, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, and that strategy is going to really help prioritize a lot of this. And the practical steps that you're suggesting here of just taking the practical step, going through this and really feeling through which ones are going to or most helpful for the site.
mm-hmm. And you'll see once you start getting a benefit from that, if there's other keywords that we need to research on. I did mystical Christianity. We can do others if we wanted to do non-dual for the other site. I mean, this is valuable information that there's this many people looking for a Course in Miracles audio every month. So if you had that keyword on your site, I mean that you've got Spreaker, but here's David with Spreaker, but maybe if you had audio instead.
Yeah, we don't need to use Spreaker.
See what I mean? I mean, that's what I'm saying is that you don't have to use those other terms. You can use these terms, and 40 people a month might. And it doesn't sound like it's a lot of numbers, but it'll add up, you guys.
Mm-hmm. It's feeling like you're saying, I'm looking at this and these numbers 320, 720, you're almost taking these words and designing your site based on that. So you get the traffic, it comes right to those keywords are used, and it just flows right through. So this is like almost your website design, if that's the audience we're going for.
Right. Well, I think that it's certainly on the Living Miracles site. That's the top of the funnel. right? And mystical Christianity is a safe way to start with some of these people that are looking for another path. They may not be in a church community, or they're disenfranchised altogether. There's a bunch of them. So that this may be the path. A Course in Miracles. I mean, even if you added easy Course in Miracles daily lessons, you can still add a word in front of it. So this is like fishing, right? We're fishing in that stream of the internet, and we have to use the right hook.
The bait.
Well, it's not really. I mean, it's logical, really, when you think about it. The Google algorithm is a database algorithm, just a machine, and if you know how to use it, you can match it. That's all this is matching it. And then knowing how to use it on the site so that it actually, the two pieces of the puzzle match. And you'll see with the YouTube work you just did, Jeff, how fast that works. You'll see this too. And you may eventually want to use some of these interchangeably. Okay? So is there anything else? I didn't mean to make you all quiet, make you have to use your brain too hard this morning.
Kathy, there's a couple of things here.
Okay.
Links, the optimum number of links on a links page, you were saying something about 25, is that right?
Well, they're saying basically what's happened is you have a lot of outbound links. And so the report brings up, and I use the report as a guide. It isn't doctrine. But if you have too much stuff going out and not enough coming back in, that's like draining your site. I mean, it's nice to acknowledge other people's work and acknowledge everything, but if all of your stuff is on YouTube and you're not linking the YouTube back, then it's seeing that as outward links. So the idea is you've got 90 sites. You could link in. You could link into all the A Course in Miracles, the publisher of the book. You know, there's all sorts of ways that you can link back and forth, and you may have to ask people to link with you. But you have enough content that you could link amongst yourself and do a great job too.
Yeah, we're linking to ourselves, yeah. Okay, so there's got to be some sort of action there.
Yeah, all I can tell you is the report came up when it said that sometimes it's a red flag. That's all. It's a red flag that, oops, you're losing. The link juice is part of the criteria that Google uses to say that your website's more pertinent data. And if it's all out, it may be looking at the out instead of you. So you want to keep the in and out, and then if you can do the triangle, if you can do the three-way links, that will help you really quickly too. But I would, my recommendation for the steps to take is to look at the keyword list first and go in group and figure out which ones you think are going to be able to be used without stuffing keywords into your data on your page. So things that actually match. Once you figure out that, then go to the lists and redo the definitions and the keywords in the metadata. Then the next step would be is to incorporate the H1, H2, and H3 tags, or even H1 and H2, using these keywords. Okay. And do the sitemaps, and right there you'll see a big difference. So it's we don't have to make it all complicated with the alt tags on the images. That could be phase 2. Does that make sense, Peter?
is when you put links on a page, is it better to have the full URL shown on the page, or is it just like a click here is fine? There's varying comments about this, but we've been seeing that if you write out the whole URL, it's supposed to be helpful for SEO. Is that right?
If it's a keyword, again, if it's a keyword, it's even more helpful. So if Jeff just created a site that's about Course in Miracles, that keyword showing up in completion with the underline, the hyperlink visible, that's going to help you a lot.
So you're saying that we have, it's optimal to write out the whole entire link that's visible.
If it's a keyword, I don't know. I'm going to have to, I don't honestly know. What Michael just asked is is it better to use a short link, like a bit.ly type link, or use the long content link? And I don't honestly know. I would have to ask. I don't know that. I don't have that many people that use it that way. Most people say, to get this course, click, and a lot of people have buttons. I mean, you're going to want everything to be graphically enhanced as much as possible. People are on their phones now, and they can't read all this text. So in most cases, they're going to be on the phone, and they're going to push a button.
Yeah.
They're not going to push a link anyway. So so I think I don't know, Dave. I don't know, Michael, what that answer is. I can ask. I can ask my other buddies that do this.
Yeah.
But I know the trend's going to be visual interface. Push a button, scan the information. A lot of what we're doing right now is just to get to show up in the search engines.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a user experience. That what we're doing. Oh, we lost Jeff again.
That's it.
He doesn't want to look at these keywords because he knows we're going to make him do it on the. Poor guy.
So Kathy, Demos, how do you know which category to go in? There's like thousands of categories. I noticed there is a Course in Miracles category, but is that, because I know apparently they're very particular about what category you go in with your site.
What I guess we could do is we could look at what the choices are, and I could make a recommendation. I don't know without looking at it, but Demos, I mean, basically that's been, I made my first website in 1995, and Demos was there then.
Right.
So this is, it's, you know, there, and I can give you probably a few other directories online directories you should be in that will help again. But again, it's like that's inbound. You know, we don't have inbound links on very many of these sites. We've got outbound. So that's part of it, but that's almost phase 2, you know. Phase 1 is getting these keywords and then putting them as, embedding them as often as you can that's not obnoxious into your site.
Hey, Kathy, I have a question for you.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Susan. This is Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hi. So when I was doing some research on keywords, I found a number of these SEO experts who were talking about emphasizing or to try and reel in broader audiences using more general terms rather than more specific audiences. And it looks like on here there's a lot of Course in Miracles references and Course in Miracles terms surrounding Course in Miracles. Is there any advantage to actually broadening that, to widen the scope beyond Course in Miracles to, I mean, there is some here, there's Christianity and mysticism and so forth, which feels much broader to me. But is there an advantage of, in a way, finding keywords that could use much broader, broader net?
Right. I think we could do some other keyword researches, and I'd be happy to do that for you, where we could find out what is showing up for Christianity. What I had thought is that really that is the Course in Miracles, even though you're going from beginner to advanced. what we're talking about is that's your niche, and I'd rather personally, in my experience, niche it more than stay broad. The broad would be on Facebook, on the YouTube. It could go broad there. It could go in all the social media sites, but I'm not sure that it benefits you trying to be everything to everybody. So in my experience, I niche. But when you read that, what did they say that they felt that they could help and assist more people that way?
Yeah, well, I remember one fellow in particular would say, okay, make sure you use these long-tailed keywords. They're actually very, very specific. They kind of zoom in and they grab a very specific audience, but that can be very general as well, right? So you might have something like someone types in the word, what is love? So it's very, very general, but it's also very specific, right? Because it's a long-tailed keyword. So it's going after quite a specific
Well, whoever types in what is love, right?
Yeah. So it would be a massive population, and yet it's very specific.
Right. Well, I'm not, since we're not working on blogs, we're working on sites. I'm using a little bit different strategy. On a blog, if there was a blog and that you were blogging on a regular basis on any of these sites, we could go much broader on the keywords. But in my opinion, I would stay more narrow, because you can see there's already people looking for it that may not know about you yet. So, but yeah, that'd be interesting to find out what they were referring to, if they were talking about blog posts versus website, because content's different in each one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to ask those questions at all, or is there anything from that list that you? And just while you're getting that list, Kathy, I just wanted to know URLs with www or not. Is it a preference to put it in, not put it in? Seems to be differences in arguments. Some people are saying it's being phased out. Have you got any thoughts on that?
I find that I still put it all in. I put HTTP and www with all of the links on the website as far as navigation. When it renders, it may not render with the www on it, but I still use the links that way. And that's what I would recommend, even on Facebook. I would recommend staying with that until it changes. You're shaking your head, Jeff, no?
No, I was just doing something else. I just message in that just didn't make any sense.
Well, so Jeff just did all of that work on YouTube's, and he put the HTTP on all of it.
Right.
So yeah, so we just want to stay consistent. It might not render with the www. That's up to Google how it renders it. That's up to the internet how it interprets it.
So, okay, so you leave it in there, right?
I would leave it in. Until we find out that isn't as efficient. That's what the standard is.
Well, I think what happened, the browsers are tending to get more automated. So the browsers, even though we show, even though we type in livingmiraclecenter.org, the browser throws in the www before it sends it off. I think that's what's happening. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would still stay standard throughout everything. And I know from our last class, you saw that when we were doing the descriptions on YouTube, that's what we were doing. Hi, Suzanne. Are you napping? She's laying down on the job. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
I know that I don't type in www anymore in a browser.
Right, but what Michael, I think what he was asking, if I'm clear, is should we use those when we put links in? Should we include it in the code? And I'm suggesting yes.
Okay. So it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Kathy answered a lot of the questions. It's so very helpful looking at this. I guess, you know, this just pops into mind as I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, I want the top spots, when that page comes up, Living Miracles in some way is going to be on those top 5 spots. And it just seems like and it's kind of developing in the strategy. This is a thought that come in mind. It's like, here are the 5 things I want them to see when they search on this search topic from Living Miracles, and this is exactly what I want them to be doing when they search on those terms. That seems like really where we're headed here. Mm-hmm. And that's in the refinement of the strategy for exactly what that's going to be. And it's starting with Course in Miracles, which is really where the wheelhouse is right now.
Yep. And mystical Christianity comes into my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a few of those are mystical. What is mysticism in Christianity? Christianity is mystical fact, and mysticism in Christianity are also terms in this spreadsheet.
Also,
yeah. Okay.
The study groups, they're pretty high, aren't they?
Yeah, I think, again, what I'm suggesting you do is a group of you meet and go through these and release the ones that aren't good for you. I mean, there's going to be a lot of them that you aren't going to want to use. And then once you decide on, some of my customers only decide on 4 keywords, phrases to start,
right,
to show up for. So, it's not really going to be that hard, but you don't want to stuff words into things. You want to make sure it flows. So that description, you don't want to stuff all the words in there. But you saw, like in David's site, his tagline, let all things be exactly as they are. That doesn't really tell you how he can help you.
Okay. So Kathy, would this be something that you and I and Francis decide on for our overall strategy? I mean, you say we should get together and look at the keywords, but it's really dependent on what direction we decide to go in.
I think, you're going to stay with the Course in Miracles, and basically part of our strategy is to get more products and services sold. So with the books and with the products that you already have, the classes. So I don't think you're going to change these keywords and that we have to wait 2 more weeks or longer to do this keyword part. I'd be glad to go through them with you and release some of them, but I think you might want your team, it might be helpful because then everybody's on the same page to have everybody. There may be some good input from the team. That I might not have that data, that experience. So that's all. But I'd be glad to make the first swipe. I could have done that before I presented it. I didn't want to. I wanted you to see what your choices were. But Suzanne, if you want us to, this is my recommendation. I would have you guys have another meeting to go over this and see, or you and Francis go over it and see which ones you should just take out of the list right away.
Okay, we'll do that.
And then I would, but you've got this great team that has worked on all of this content and knows the content better than I do.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, this is really, for me, I'm just.
Are you overwhelmed with this?
Well, I don't need to know everything. I'm kind of more of the intuitive part of things. And so it's like, I feel it. It's like Living Miracles site. So when we have a meeting, we're really talking about these 2 sites that we're, that's all we're talking about right now, correct? And what keywords we want to use for these 2 sites. Okay, I can handle that.
Right, and what I was suggesting is that we lead with those 2 sites.
Yes, okay.
So, but again, if Jeff just set up a site that's called A Course in Miracles, what is the keyword? What is the URL?
Yeah.
CourseInMiraclesNow.com.
See, so we may want to include that one too. I mean, that's a great keyword. That was a great URL to get.
Okay.
So again, see, I don't know what I don't know when you have 90 sites. Oh my gosh. I don't know where to start, honestly.
Well, we do have our main sites that we want to work with
Right. Well, Michael gave me those. He gave me 11.
Right.
So, and we do have ICIM.me, but I didn't go there next because I thought since we're talking about David, that we needed to work on that site that focused on David.
Yeah, that's a Spreaker site anyway.
But that's going to be shifted soon. There's a new site being made.
Which we can't do anything with.
So I just want to get clear, Kathy, with the davidim1.net site, it's a subdomain. Is that really worth, pushing, if you like? There's other pages on that site. I mean, it's like a messengers page site as well. A lot of the messengers pages aren't very well developed and there's not much content on it. So will that drag that down? Is that helpful to really be pushing?
Well, your choice is pushing that content to something else and making a David Hoffmeister site. Yeah, I mean, there's .guru. We don't want that one. But there's all sorts of other ways we could have Ask David Hoffmeister. I have an Ask Kathy Mason.
.com. I'm just asking now, is it okay to work with that site then? Is it a subdomain? Is that, are we is it worthwhile? That's the question.
Well, the question really is what do we want to do? We're trying to make it easy and build trust. We're trying to make it easy for the potential new customer to find you guys and to build trust with David. So if you feel that the subdomain, you're asking, change the keywords and we changed what I suggested, it will start showing up. And if you feel that you need, and I don't know that you have to change the rest of the domain because I'm not sure that you would necessarily go there. There's nothing here that pushes you out to the other part of the site.
Yeah.
So this could be a standalone site. You could copy all the data that's here and put it on a Ask David Hoffmeister site.
Okay, well, yeah, and just for simplicity's sake, because there's so many transitions happening right now, do you recommend that, or can we just work with this domain name?
I think you might be better with the not having it as a subdomain as far as having to do the work for Google. Once you would have to do work for the whole domain.
Okay.
Since this is a subdomain, it's not going to necessarily, you saw how when I put it into Alexa, that it changed it and went to the total domain. That's what Google's going to do too.
Okay, so it's im1.net is the parent, I guess, and that if you go to im1.net, you'll see that it's a page for David and the Messengers, and then you click on the various photos, and it goes to everybody's personal website. So we would want to leave that. We would want to leave David on that, and so.
So is it that there's a pointer to this site, which is davidhoffmeister.com? Maybe we can develop that site. Yeah.
Some of our messengers are ascending. You can see. When that whole board is just those little globes of light, you'll know we're done.
Oh, cool. Well, anyway, again, you saw that, again, this whole conversation is how to get found on the internet and how to get views to your site so that you can share your message. So the davidhoffmeister.com site.
So I guess what we could do is we leave that site, that IM1 site, exactly it is. You click on the David figure, it goes to this site, but it may be just rerouted to a new domain name. Is that right? Could we do that?
Oh, I see. So maybe this is the one we should enhance. It's exact duplicate of the other one.
Well, it's pointing to it.
It's pointing, this is where you go when you
Oh, it's pointing to it.
and if you click the other messengers, it goes to exact sites like this.
I see. Okay, well, we've got this URL. It would be better to have this populated and have this image rather than a subdomain.
So we're going to have 96 sites now, an extra site.
No,
I didn't want to get you more sites. I'm sorry.
yeah, I guess I'm not following it.
Okay, so this is what it is. Let me explain this, Suzanne. Right now you have a site that includes this and this that points to a really good keyword URL name. So you have them like this, and Google's gonna, no matter what we do, Google's gonna look at the whole thing. Even if you tell it only to look at here, it's gonna look at all of it. So it's a lot more work to optimize the whole site than for you to just, you've already got this great URL with his name. It would be better to just build the site here. And you can still link it to this one, just like the other ones are linked. The other messengers have their other site. They're all linked. Did that make more sense to you?
Does it make sense to you? If it makes sense to Michael, he can explain it to me later.
Okay, I'll try again. Okay, right now what you have with the IM1net,
Yep.
you have a subdomain, you have the IM1net,
Yep.
and you have David's page,
Yep.
okay? As a subdomain, so it's like a subfolder.
Yep.
If you look at Word, you have the folder and then you have these subfolders. You can have multiple folders, okay? It's just for organization. What the problem is that we're discussing is that Google will look at all of this. So even if you enhance this one, which is what I suggested to do, you would have to enhance all of it, and to put more work into it than if you use the subdomain, the contents of that, and just put it on davidhoffmeister.com. I mean, I didn't realize you had that URL. That's
Well,
like
we've
golden.
steered away from .coms because it's commerce. So that's all of ours are .net or .org because of the nonprofit. So that's what we've done in the past.
Well, he's an author, so I mean, this could be also promoting him as an author. Again, what we've been talking about is making him an authority.
Right, right.
And so the .com is like golden. I didn't realize we had this. It wasn't on this list.
But this is, Kathy, this is kind of sounding similar, to that web domain that Jeff picked up now that has ACIM in it, the Course in Miracles, to be the pointer site. I'm just going to say it.
Well, I don't think that we can, again, what we're talking about is we could have it as one of these.
Jeff's site, off from Living Miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
And so if they end up here, then they'll be linked to here, and you'll find that content will go back and forth. So that's what I was thinking, is if David Hoffmeister was here, Course in Miracles Now. I mean, a Course in Miracles Now could get them so they'd buy something.
It just feels to me like the same thing. I mean, the same thing applies to changing the davidhoffmeister.com applies to the other site.
Living Miracles?
Yeah, to have Living Miracles be underneath that keyword.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there. You know, I know something else has been decided, but I can hear that. So.
Well, I think it's an asset. and it will be one of these. The reason I'm suggesting this is that out of 72 Course in Miracles teachers that showed up on the internet that have a presence, you're the only one who has community. And so that's why I was leading with this.
Okay.
Because the other people they could have read the book twice and they're leading a church group. I mean, it's not the same as you're living it. So that's why I was going here. But having all these other ones that feed into it and they all link is ideal.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Kay?
I guess, well, I don't know how that excludes community. Like, I do feel the community is really important. It's really important and it's very unique. It's like the other one feels like stepping into the flow of, like you discussed. Here's what's out here. Here's what people are looking for, their ACIM. And then once they're through, it's sort of like, here's what's unique about this message. I guess that's just
right. Well, so what you're saying is, and what I'm saying, I think we're saying the same thing, Kay. I think what we're saying is that some of these other sites, when we reduce it to a handful of sites, there'll be a way for people to come in and
wow, careful.
What was that? Was that Jeff?
That was me going to the wrong screen, sorry.
Okay. This will be interesting recording to listen to later. What I'm assuming is that each one of these will hook into that stream. So David will hook into that stream. The Course in Miracles will hook in that stream. This may be one of the other courses that you do. And again, since I don't know all of your sites, it may be your international. You know, this could be Mexico, and this could be another site. You're going to have other sites showing up, so they may all be part of this, and people can come enter here, or they enter here, and then go there. It gives you a lot of opportunity to be visible to these people.
Okay.
Okay, Kate, was that better, or no? You're still?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of getting the hub thing. And I guess it really gets to be about the strategy of what's the hub. Where's the central focal point that we're bringing people to when we're driving this to the top of the search engine?
Exactly. Well,
really,
see, and then whether you want to put your landing page on here or put your landing page on here. That's what you and I we can talk about that off, because it may be off of Facebook they come here because they're not ready for this. Right? Or the David Hoffmeister, if it's non-dual, we may not want them to start there. We may want them to start here with the Course in Miracles Now. But what we have to sell is on here. So a lot of what I'm doing is helping create a presence for David that's much bigger on the internet than he had before, which will allow us to sell much more product. And help that many more people. Okay?
Yeah, this is just really powerful. I'm just really feeling, just kind of expressing what's felt in terms of, because really very powerful, Kathy, what you're presenting is really powerful. I just really want to understand it, and then be like, if I'm feeling it, say it, or if I'm not, just say that. So
sure, that's what
so thank you.
Yeah, oh sure. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help as many people wake up as possible. That's all I do. That's all I do. That's the only people I work with, is people like you guys that have a piece of the puzzle that could help transform people's lives so they can really see the beauty, get out of the idea of being a prisoner, and be a positive creator in the world. I mean, that's what we came here to be. So that's what all of this is about. Right?
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to stop the recording, and as soon as I can get it to render, I'll put it up on YouTube again, and I'll send Michael the link. And then this was all we had planned for this month, was these two.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see if we want to do more. Okay.
Okay, Kathy. Thank
Okay.
You
Great.
wanna-
Well, have a wonderful weekend.
The budget. Then we have to.
Thank you so much, Kathy. This
my
is so
pleasure.
helpful.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's my understanding.
Let's see.